and welcome back to Montana. It's a little cold, so we're set up in the ice house today. Not a lot of room for the camera, but I think it's going to work. Yeah, I'm going to be running a new beach mat that I made with the Legos. I got my sand that Ira brought over to me, the Washington beach sand, and we're going to be running that. I got it all classified down. We're ready to go there. I'll give you a quick look at the mat before we turn it on. I think it looks good. I said in the last video I was going to run it on this mat that I made. Oh, there's a lot of glare in here. But the ridges are way too high, and any beach mat I've ever seen, it has to run pretty dang smooth. So this is, I think, just too much turbulence, and I think it would just blow some of the gold out. So I made a new one. This is the pattern I used. The other mat I used full-size Legos. So I cut it in half this time and just use these little thin ones like this. I've got double stacked up here at the top just to give it a little more aggressiveness, and then just single lined all the way down. So this other mat that we ran the other day, how can you argue with that? When we ran it, probably 80 to 90% of the gold was in the top 5 inches of the mat, and I ended up with more gold than I started with. So I call that a win. So I think they worked great. So I'm really excited to try this on this beach sand. So let me get this thing fired up. I'll quit talking and we'll run some dirt. We're running. I'll get some sand in here. I think what I'm going to do is my hopper here that I usually use for all my other stuff, my automatic sluice box feeder hopper. So I think instead of dumping it down here where I'm going to get big clumps of sand, you know, and the gold before it ever settles out, clear down in here, I'm going to try dumping it right up here in the hopper. Man, that stuff's black. Well, I could just put this down in here and let it eat away too, so we don't get too much. Man, that is black sand. Wow. So this isn't really my forte, running beach sand. I'm in Montana. We deal with more rocks and gravel and iron and things like that. Or anywhere where I dig. I know there's some places with some pretty heavy black sand, but dang me, this is a lot. That stuff is just black and dark. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this sand and see what kind of gold we get out of it. And since I'm planning a trip out to Washington here in the next few months, I think I will set up about 3 or 4 different experiments, because my setup is not designed for beach sand at all. So I got some sand here and might as well run a few tests, trying different setups and stuff. I got some real off-the-wall ones I want to try. So we'll see what the results are with this, and after we get done running this, I will just kind of get a feel for what it's doing, and then I can set up some more experiments to work on after that. We're not loading up real bad, so I like what I see so far. We're done running the 1 bucket of dirt. I got 1.5 over here left. Is it working? I think so. I like it. Doesn't seem to load up too bad. Does slow down the material drastically. Takes a bit to work through, but I don't know if this camera will pick it up or if I can get the light right. But there's gold down in these little pockets here. I can see all along in here. Well, I think what I will do is go ahead and clean this mat out. And because I've got to clean out my little tub down here anyway. So we'll clean this out and we'll run another bucket of dirt. You know, I'm thinking this ice house thing ain't a bad idea. I mean, I got my heater in here. I'm nice and toasty warm. You know, if your ground wasn't frozen, I bet you could take this out in the field and run your dirt and stay nice and toasty warm. So, not a bad idea. Of course, here the ground's going to be completely frozen, so there's no sense in that. But anyway, I'll get this cleaned out and we'll run another bucket of dirt. Well, we're done running all the sand. I liked what I saw. I did see some nice pieces of gold in there floating around when I was running it. So hopefully they're still in the box. I don't really know what to expect, so we'll go ahead and clean this out. And I'll probably take it in the house and do a cleanup. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but here we get them all clean. Okay, well, it is the next morning. So I said I was going to take those concentrates in the house last night, and I thought I was going to be able to go through them in a couple hours and clean them up. Ha 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 ha, joke's on me. After about 20 minutes of that, I figured, well, I'm going to be here for the next 3 days. So you can see I've got my cleanup sluice all set up, and we're going through it and get it down a little bit further so we can deal with it. Of course, there's just a ton of magnetic sand in here, so we'll get this all cleaned up. I don't know if you've seen this video of my cleanup sluice. I made it a while back. It's just a window seal planter for flowers and a sheetrock tub. It's working really good. I've got deep ribbed V matting in here from Royal Manufacturing, and I also have some sawtooth mat in here. So we're just feeding it real slow. To get the camera and see, you can actually see the gold going down the tub up. There you go. And the water's just slowly eating away. We don't overload the box. We got a nice even flow all the way down. So, did the mat catch some gold? Heck yeah, it did. So we'll put another scoop in here. Try and do this one-handed. Well, we got done just cleaning up the cleanup sluice. Much more manageable to deal with than all that other stuff. So, I'm learning. Okay, I'm all done cleaning up. The mats, I think, worked fantastic. I love the silicone mats. Getting that all down to a smaller quantity was sure a bonus. But here's the gold we got. That was 3 buckets of unclassified material of beach sand. I think that's awesome. I'm not going to weigh it this time. I'm going to try some other experiments and try some different ideas. We'll see how that goes. A Miller table. So anyway, thanks for watching. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And we'll catch you next time. Bye now.